Hello and welcome to this short tutorial on cash flow concepts. We're going to talk about what is the cash flow cycle, and then I'm going to discuss one way of reducing the bottleneck in most businesses today. Hi, I'm Kathy Grosskirth with Bookkeeping Clean and Simple. I am a advanced certified pro advisor in both QuickBooks desktop and online, and I'm also an NACPB certified bookkeeper. Let's go ahead and get started. So why is managing cash flow important? Well, managing your cash flow is important because, first of all, cash is king. And what we mean by that is that cash is a business lifeblood. You've got to have a certain amount of cash in your business to be able to operate. There should be a fine line, though, between having too much or too little cash reserves. If you have too much tied up in cash, then you're not doing efficiently in your management of your cash. At the same time, you don't want to have too little in cash, then that way you can't meet your business obligations. So you want to establish a happy medium so that you'll have enough cash on hand to meet your current financial obligations and also have a little extra to cover for any unexpected events or emergency situations. And as much as we like to plan on having all of our ducks in a row, sometimes we don't, so it's always good to have a little cushion there in the event that we need it. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to talk a little bit about the cash flow cycle simplified. This is a very simplistic view of the cash flow cycle, but it's one that I think most of you will understand. So here we go. We're going to talk about the 4 stages in the cash flow cycle, starting with the cash. Everybody needs cash to start with. You've got to have cash to initially invest in your business. You've also got to have cash that you reinvest in the business as you go, because you need cash in the very beginning. You're going to be outlaying a lot more cash than you'll be getting in the initial stages, as we'll talk about. Stage 2 is that we're going to have our business inputs where we actually are spending down this cash to try to generate the revenue, increase our sales. First of all, we have bills we have to pay. We have things that we need to acquire in order to start our business. And some business we may have to outlay significant sums of money for equipment and that kind of thing. That's true if you're in the business of opening a new restaurant. There's a lot of upfront costs that you're going to have up at the very beginning before you even start generating any revenue. So you have to manage all that. So the business inputs are paying these bills, investment in these assets. You're going to be advertising. You're going to be going out meeting business people to let people know that you are in business, and you're going to be spending a lot of time doing that. And then finally, after months and even maybe years of doing that, you're going to start seeing some sales. Now, how well you perform stage 2 will generate the sales of products or services for your business. So once we start bringing in the sales, we're going to also start seeing that we're going to accumulate what we call accounts receivable. These are monies that you are owed from your efforts in stages 1, 2, 3, because in most cases, unless you're a cash-based business, in a restaurant, you'll end up getting paid by credit card on site, but with some other businesses, such as the bookkeeping business and accounting business, you're going to invoice your clients, and hopefully they'll pay you within a certain period of time. Well, as we'll talk about, and we're going to concentrate from this point on stage 4, this is where we see that we have a bottleneck in accounts receivable. Because what happens when we have accounts receivable on our books, that means we have monies that we have technically earned, but we have not seen that money come in yet. And so you'll see that this is a bottleneck. And why? Well, one of the main reasons that it's a bottleneck is that cash inflows are slower than the cash outflows, where sales are sporadic, whereas bills tend to occur over a regular schedule. And like I said, in the very beginning of a business, you're going to end up spending a lot more money than you'll have bringing in initially. And then once you start seeing those sales, you've got to manage those sales so that you can start having that money come in on a regular basis, so you can also manage that outflow of money as long as you have enough cash coming in and going out and kind of balancing that. And then the other thing you've got to consider is that you may not have a good system in place to invoice the customer for sales or services provided. And that as a bookkeeper, that's what I see happening a lot, is that they don't pay enough attention to having the invoices going out on a regular schedule so that people will start paying. And also, a lot of times people will not put terms in their invoices, or they'll say due upon receipt. Well, if you don't have some sort of deadline on there, then they'll put it off and think that it will end up, people will forget about it, or, they won't follow up. And you don't want to get in that habit. You want to make sure you invoice on a regular basis and make sure that you are not timid about collecting on what you are owed. Because again, the longer it takes to collect on accounts receivables, the more likely it is that you won't see the money materialize. So the older that the receivable is, anything after about 60 days, if you don't collect on it, that means the likelihood of you seeing that money is going to be slim to none. So one of the key things that you have to do is you have to implement systems to lessen the cycle of aging receivables and speed up collections. And here I'm going to talk about one thing that if you are using QuickBooks, and even if you're not using QuickBooks, you can actually implement this and you will actually see an increase in people paying on the receivables. I want you to consider QuickBooks Payments as a solution to shorten your accounts receivable bottleneck. QuickBooks Payments is a wonderful way to get paid faster, and it works right inside QuickBooks. So if you are using QuickBooks, you can integrate these two things together. What will happen is that you will save time and money, because you will be sending invoices from QuickBooks with Pay Now links so that your customers can pay instantly using either credit card or bank transfer. You can also accept credit card payments from anywhere. You will also receive a mobile card reader included with each account. So if you happen to go on site to a job and you want to go ahead and invoice on the spot or accept payments on the spot, then you can plug that into your phone and use the mobile app in order to receive payments right there and then, and that shortens up that accounts receivable cycle. There are no setup fees, and if you use the pay-as-you-go plan, there are no upfront costs. There are also no contracts or cancellation fees, so you can cancel at any time if you don't like the service. And it also integrates seamlessly with QuickBooks. Invoices are auto-updated with fees and deposits being taken into account inside QuickBooks with no extra effort. So all of this is basically worth trying. So if you are interested in reducing that bottleneck, be sure to contact me. I can do more than just do that. I have a whole range of services that I offer. So visit my website and you'll see the link in the graphic here. My aim is to free you up so that you can grow your business. And I offer, again, a wide range of services to help you as a small business owner keep accurate and detailed financial records. Even if you want to do that yourself, that's something that I can help you with in various ways. If you're interested in a quote for QuickBooks Payments or any other QuickBooks products or services, I have a special link to my partner reseller that you can go on there and request a quote or even put in an order if you want to. And if you're interested in finding out more about how we can possibly work together and see if we're a good fit, set up a Calendly appointment with me. Here's the link to my calendar through Calendly where you can set that up. And I would love to hear from you. Thank you for your time, and I hope I hear from you soon. Take care.